people will only do what you allow them to do to you.
Yeah.
And that's on social media, that's in real life, and that has a lot to do with, the identity, like the identity crisis, because there's a lot of people that don't know who they are, and that's why they fall victim, and that's why they get depressed and oppressed.
I had people that I looked up to or I watched on a daily basis, and I noticed that they always had to put on a mask every day they woke up, and I could only imagine how hard that would be to have to be funny every single day when you're not feeling it, to have to go out there and do crazy things to get attention every single day to stay relevant. And that was something that I didn't want to do because, first of all, I'm a Scorpio, so I'm very chill. I'm very chill, and I'm an athlete, so that's who I said I wanted to be. I always wanted to make sure that that was the main thing that I continued to be true to, was an athlete. It wasn't easy all the time because obviously when you take the harder, slower road, it takes a longer time to reach where you want to get to, and receive opportunities that you may want to receive that others might have because they took a shorter route or whatever it may have been. But I knew that, okay, at one day I want to have kids, and I don't want them to ever be on social media and be like, "Oh, mom, what was happening back in 2012? What's going on?" And even as an athlete, it's the same thing. I had to break out of that once I got injured, because I currently have ACL injury, because I was always known as Santia Deck, the track runner, the rugby player, the football player. And when that was all taken away from me, I had to figure out, wow, who really am I?
So many people take the short route, Santia, but what I've learned is that when you take the short route, it ultimately leads you back to going around in circles. And though you think that you're going somewhere, you're really not going anywhere. A very soft reminder from God that says, you know what, you stay the course, because for I know the plans that I have for you. Those plans are to prosper you, not to harm you, and give you a hope for your
Yes, ma'am.
future. And so I stand on that promise, and that is what keeps me in alliance and in agreement with what my creator has put me here. So I will not compromise, I will not settle, I will not do any of that. What we see, we know, we all see this stuff going on in the world, and so I commend you for that. I think it's absolutely phenomenal.
I had a chance to go to the championships for track and field with my team, which meant I would have had to stay in school like an extra summer, so that I could complete that, or I could not go and I could start my brand, which at that time was strictly fitness, and I was like filming a fitness DVD at that time and different things like that. And I remember going to my coach at that time, and he knows who he is. I wasn't a big fan, to be honest, of how he treated me. And I remember I
Mm.
came to him and I said, "Hey, I have this opportunity to go and start my life, go and start my career, and I unfortunately I would rather go that route than go to the championships." And he looked at me. He was like, "You got to do something really great in life, and I doubt you will, to make up for
Wow.
this." The next and after, it's literally as soon as I left, I filmed my fitness DVD. I started a clothing line, started a nutrition line. I was doing all these. I was growing on social media, and I remember coming back a year later to a homecoming, and I saw him, and he was like, "Oh, Dad, you're doing some amazing things." And I was like, "Yeah, yeah. Remember what you said?" And I just walked away, and that was pure motivation to me. From there, I continued to grow. I literally started going viral on social media for football. And that's honestly when my life changed, because I got an opportunity to go and try for the USA team for rugby. I got a chance to do some stuff with the NFL. I've worked with Under Armour, Nike's, all the big brands. But it took a lot of work. It took a lot of discipline. And once again, it was making a choice every day that this is what I wanted to do and this is who I wanted to be. And once I committed to that, and once I realized, like, okay, this isn't just about the sports. There's also a message in here that I feel like we sometimes often miss as influencers. If you're doing it right, God gives you a platform for a reason. So I've been able to, motivate, inspire, show people how to do the same thing, show people how to build brands, get people, on a different path in life. when it comes to fitness. So if you want to get back out there with your kids, if you want to lose weight so that you can feel better about yourself, whatever it may have been, I made sure that that's what I committed to. So my whole thing was I want to use this platform to inspire and motivate and show people that anything is possible. And hopefully that's what I'm doing.
A lot of people allow social media to control them. But I
Yeah.
believe that if you control social media, that it could be a great impact. And so what you're doing in terms of inspiring and motivating and doing that, I think it's great. Someone to tell you that, listen, if you're on social media, you're being negative, you're being pessimistic, you're being derogatory, you're showing body parts that you shouldn't be showing. This is not a part of building a brand, a brand that is sustainable, a brand that is progressive, and a brand that people want to be aligned with. You got to think about this. I hear a lot of people saying, well, I can't, I'm trying to reach this person, and then I go to their page to look at what they're doing, and I just have to tell the truth because I'm very honest and transparent. I say, you know what, if I was that person, I wouldn't reach out to you either. And the reason I wouldn't, you have nude pictures, you have cursing, you got some people that only get engagement when they post negative things. And you know what? That tells me a lot about a person. It tells me a lot about a person that only gets engagement when they post negative things. That means that people don't think a lot about you. People think that they don't think a lot about you to only engage with you when you are posting negative
A
things.
lot of people get on social media and they're just trying to wing it, or they might have seen somebody else doing something, so they wanted to try to do it as well, but it might not fit who they really are. So I would say find what it is you are passionate about. Honestly, something that you would do if you weren't getting paid for it, and then go full throttle on that. And it once again, I'm saying this because I have so many people that always come to me and say, "Man, I've been posting for a month and I haven't grown on social media." And then I go to their page and I'm like, dude, you only posted 3 times this month. You're not gonna get any traction. Right now, social media is about consistency. Every platform, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, whatever it may be, don't be out here doing things just for the money, just for the clout. If you're doing it for something positive, if you're actually trying to build a brand that's going to, add value to the world and not be out here for selfish reasons, because I see a lot of that nowadays, and it's all about followers, it's all about clout, and that will quickly, come to an end, definitely, because people can smell that nowadays. So just know what it is you want to do, stick to it, and be consistent. Post, reels, reels, reels. Go live, invite people on, do Q&As. People love that, and those are the fans, those are the followers, the customers that are going to become loyal, keep coming back, and spread the word.
Wow, thanks for that. I want to recap what Santia Deck just shared. Consistency is key. She also mentioned full-time social media branding, and building a brand on social media is a full-time job. And for those of you that don't have the time to have social media as a full-time job, I highly suggest you hiring a social media agency or an agency that can handle the capacity for you, but it is a full-time job. She mentioned analytics. I believe that data is important. A lot of us don't really know who our audience is. We think we have an idea of who our audience is, but when you really go off of analytics and data, it really shows who your audience is. And that's interesting. A couple of years ago, I started to look at my analytics from my personal brand and started seeing people in different countries and things like that. And even when we're building social media strategies for our clients, and when we're building digital marketing strategies for our clients to help them to expand their brand, data and analytics is a huge part of our decision making process when we are building out those programs. So that's really, really key. She also mentioned protect your brand at all costs. It's very important. Protect your brand. Do your research on people before you align yourself with them. Before, look at what they're doing. Do a Google research. Protecting your brand at all costs is very, very important, because you know what? It takes a long time for you to build a brand, but you can mess it up in a matter of seconds if you align with the wrong people or person. So what Santia mentioned there, protecting your brand. She also mentioned keeping God at the center of everything that you do. That is very, very important. And when I believe that when you keep God at the center of things that you, everything that you do, you get convicted. I'm not saying that we're always going to be perfect because I don't believe perfection exists. But what I am saying is that we're going to take a cognizant effort to be convicted when we are not, when we should do things that we should not be doing. So I get convicted when, I want to post certain things, or I may want to say something, or I may want to chime in on a discussion. But you know what? It's a conviction in me that says, you know what? What would Jesus do? Again, we're not perfect, but we want to mitigate problems as much as possible on social media, because what gets out there, it's hard to retract that information. And as Santia Debt mentioned in the very beginning of the conversation, she don't want her children to be able to look back and say, Mom, what were you doing in 2023? Wow, this surfaced. So you gotta think about long term. What are the long term consequences of what you're posting? So that is very, very important. And always add value. It's so important, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone that's doing here online. You have to add value. So often, I get many people that reach out to me saying, "Hey, can you mentor me? Can you give me this? Can you give me that? Can you give?" You know what? My mentor taught me this several years ago. That you seek to add value. When you seek to add value, it's kind of like the reaping and sowing thing, right? When you, whatever it is that you sow shall you reap. So you really want to seek to add value to others before asking for anything, and you want to seek to add value. In addition to those points that Santia mentioned, I do want to add a couple of other points. If you're on social media, Facebook or LinkedIn, or LinkedIn is important for those of you who are looking to target business to business. That's the decision makers are on LinkedIn. The other thing I want to add to that is on your Instagram bio. You want to have your website there. You want to have some sort of link flow with your links and stuff like that, and a website. You know what? Because what you want to do is you want to be expecting conversion. And what I mean conversion is you want to have a certain level of conversion where people are converting into customers, people are converting to followers, people are converting into whatever it is that you want in terms of conversion. You want to be able to track that. So you definitely want to add your website. The other thing that I'd add to that is don't be overly promotional. A lot of people, when you go to their page, all you see is them selling something, selling, selling, selling. Guess what? Nobody wants to be just sold to. Nobody wants to be sold to. So you don't want to be overly promotional. And one of the strategies that I use is this: 1/3 of your post should be educational or inspiring. 1/3 of your post should promote what you're selling or the solutions to the problem that you have. And then the other third should be storytelling. It's building that authenticity. Authenticity is key in everything that we do. So when you think about overly promoting yourself, just I would categorize it: 1/3 of posts educational, inspiring. This 1/3 of posts what you're selling, and then the other third is storytelling and building authenticity. There is a couple of quotes that I really would like for you to take down. I think that if you remember these quotes, you could, this is something that you can follow. Quote number one is this: remember, you are not required to put every detail of your life online. You are not required to put every detail of your life online. So, what we're saying, we're talking about building a brand through social media so that you can build an impactful brand. You don't want to be one of those people that eventually turn into a mental health issue, because depression, oppression, because you're sharing your personal life. You're sharing when you break up with your boyfriend. You're sharing all of these personal things, and then you get angry when people respond. Well, you're putting it out there. So basically, you're inviting the trolls, you're inviting negativity. So you want to be very careful about what it is you're putting out on social media. It doesn't require every detail of your life. And remember that. The second quote I want to share is: you are what you share. Remember that. You are what you share. So you want to think about what it is that you're sharing. Thirdly, I want to, the quote that I have is: do not allow what's going on social media to get on the inside of you. That is so important. It's a lot of stuff going on social media, but you don't want to allow what social media is, what's happening on social media to get on the inside of you. And lastly,
Yeah.
for those of you that want an ebook or something to learn a little bit more about how to build a brand. I was on Santia Deck's Linktree Pillar, whatever it's called, and she have a ebook called How to Build a Brand. I highly recommend you going to her Instagram page and buying that book, How to Build a Brand on Social Media. I think that that is really important. And then last but not least, y'all, I want to just share with y'all to take action. You know, it's always about taking action. A lot of us don't take action. To You want to don't just take the information and remain the same. Declare you'll do something different and become who you desire to be. And the fact that you're here today, the fact that you're tuned in, the fact that you're listening, it lets us know that you really want to do better and be better. And we're here to support your efforts. We're here to push you forward. We are saying that we know that it's not easy. It's not easy building a brand on social media. It's not easy being disciplined. It's not easy feeding into, you know, not feeding into things that you see. We all want to say stuff sometimes. Like, oh my God, I have something to say about that. But you know, not every battle requires a response. Not everything requires a response.
Well, I will say, if you guys know anything about my shoe company, we do have some really big surprises coming up in the future that I think is going to be definitely something for the culture. So we're super excited to share that with you guys very soon. So stay tuned on our website, which is tronosofficial.com. Also, just Tronos Official on all social media platforms. And then I have a lot of things that I can't talk about, but guys, there's some amazing things that's happening that I'm just blown away by what God is doing in my life. And honestly, this the gifts that He's given me isn't for me; it's for the world. And I can't wait to give it back to everybody. So I would just say, stay tuned. Keep following me on social media, which is TrackBaby001, or on queenofabs.com or santiadeck.com.